Hi everyone, Despina Nicola from Dare to Begin Life Coaching. Today we are looking at procrastination, and I just want to give you 3 really easy steps to avoid it, to stop doing it, okay? I'll give you an example of my brother, my twin brother George, who is good at procrastinating and how it affects him. I live in Cyprus, and my brother came to see me and he had some health issues. We went to the doctor and they told him he needs an operation. Straight away, my brother got triggered. He got up and went to flee. I grabbed him, took out his visa from his pocket, went and paid with the doctor into the reception, and he had to have the operation. So I'm a go-and-getter. He is a procrastinator. I'm not saying that the over-functioner is better than the under-functioner, okay? I'm just saying that we can learn from each other and become more either productive or more or less stressed out with the over-functioner. But today we're looking at procrastination. Another life we will look at being an over-functioner and how to deal with that. Procrastinators, they do feel unhappy about being a procrastinator because they don't get the tasks done, they feel guilty, and they don't face their fears. And so, but it's easy to face because it's a habit, it's been learned, and you can unlearn it. Just the way that you've learned to procrastinate, you can unlearn it and become more productive and be happier with yourself. The thing is that because it's a habit, it's an avoidance habit, and it's avoidance of stress. Because when you procrastinate, there might be something that there's a reason why you're procrastinating. Like my brother with the operation, he didn't want to do the operation because he was in a hurry to get back to New Zealand to celebrate his daughter's birthday. And he had some business things going on, and the operation would have hindered him. Or other people, there might be a family issue, like maybe they're avoiding their issues because maybe they've got a sick parent at home, or maybe at work there's a deadline going on or a presentation that they're avoiding. And so in order to avoid the stress, which your mind is going to, like George's stress ball of doing this operation, that was a huge stress ball for George. So he avoided that by doing something else, by trying to flee. Instead of trying to flee, other people might scroll the internet, YouTube videos, do all sorts of things to avoid doing what they're stressed out about. So procrastination is an avoidance technique of stress. Fortunately, though, there is a 3-step method that we can use in order to combat procrastination. So the first thing you have to do is find the triggers. So what is actually triggering you? And the thing is that the trigger is the stress. What is the stress that you are avoiding? We are always going to have triggers in our life. Okay, it's inevitable that there will be triggers. It's inevitable to get rid of stress. Okay, so we have got to cope with it. So number one, what is the stress ball? What is the thing that is being thrown at you that you're really scared of, that you're avoiding? Is it the social anxiety of maybe you want to ask a man or a woman out and you're embarrassed, so you will do anything else. You will avoid them at work, so you don't because you go red or something. So what is the trigger? So that's number one. The second one is there's Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. Okay, so once you've found the trigger number one, you know what the trigger is and you know that you're stressed out about it. That's number one. Number two is to Mel Robbins' technique, the 5-second rule, is taking you away from the habit which is planted at the back of the brain and bringing the habit to your conscious, which is the prefrontal cortex in the front of the brain. So what you're doing is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're bringing it to the front of the brain, and so you've become aware of it. You've cut that connection. And the third thing is to do what you are scared of doing. Number 3, which is just act upon the one thing that you're scared of. And by doing that for 5 minutes, number 3 is to act. By doing it for 5 minutes, there's an 80% chance that you will continue doing it. Okay, because that's what research shows. And the science behind all of this is at the back of our brain is where habits are planted. And so we just go on autopilot. We just retrieve the information because the brain doesn't want to work. You know, it's just, we seek the path of least resistance, and we don't want to think about doing something. And so if something scares us, we've contracted a habit of avoiding it. So we've learned that it felt good to avoid it. So we just bring it forward. And we just do like the procrastination. But the science behind it is if we bring it to our conscious with the 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, with Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, what we're doing is we're becoming conscious, we're planting the habit of doing, and slowly, we will learn that there's nothing to fear. We don't need to procrastinate anymore. Let's just do what we fear, face the fear and do it. And then slowly the fear or the stress of doing something will dissipate. And that is the way that you can combat stress and the stress of avoidance, procrastination. Number 1, you find the trigger. Number 2, you use Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to disconnect the habit from the conscious. Number 3, you just do it for 5 minutes, and then slowly you will plant another habit in its place. Go for gold, you guys. Love you all. Bye.